In thinking about the public role of historians, we can on one level think about, in essence, formal opportunities where people encounter history in public. Museums, monuments, historic sites, which are extremely important to public culture. The number of people who learn history in national parks eclipses by far the number of people who read works by historians. These are, in fact, our opportunities to interact with the public. People are interested in history. They go to historic sites. They stop at historic markers when they're driving their cars. I've pulled over at a historic marker and actually seen other people reading it, talking to their children about it. There's a history channel. There are bestsellers. There's a lot of history on the bestsellers. People are interested in history. Think about all the people who do the history of their family. Some of them do it very narrowly, but some of them then broaden out into thinking about context. So there are many ways in which people encounter history in public. And one of the things that I would like to see, for example, is historians being more involved in conversations about monuments. Every southern county seat has a monument of a Confederate soldier. What does that mean? Why are they there? How do they get there? What was the meaning of that monument when it was built? How did that meaning change over time? Does it still matter that there's a Confederate soldier sitting there in front of the county courthouse? Do people know what that Confederate soldier was defending? Was that Confederate soldier defending honor, tradition, or the ownership of one human being by another? These are interesting questions. They're ethical questions. They're political questions. And any historian can open a conversation about this in the community in which he or she lives. But then there's a second level, and that is what I would call the history all around us. You raised the question in New York, for example, about all the institutions that are historical in their nature. Fifth Avenue is a work of history. Fifth Avenue, you walk down Fifth Avenue, Madison Avenue, and what you see is change over time in aesthetic sensibilities, in economy, in theories about city planning. So there are ways in which people encounter history in almost every aspect of their daily life. One of the things that Michael Pollan has been so successful at doing, for example, is incorporating history into such issues as how we eat. The brilliance of the omnivore's dilemma is in helping us to think about corn and the history of American use of corn and how that affects the way he thinks we ought to be thinking about what we consume. But it's a historical perspective that he's bringing to it.